guys, and welcome back to Well-Read Soiree, where we're all trying to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Today we're going to be discussing Girlboss. I announced this book about a week ago, and I just flew through this book. I liked every single word of every single page, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be one of my go-to books whenever I just need advice with life. I really felt that I just connected with her in this book, and I felt like a lot of what she's gone through I can relate to. So we'll just go through each chapter and I'll touch on some of my favorite parts. Chapter 1. So you want to be a girl boss. I'm telling you my story to remind you that the straight and narrow is not the only path to success. It sometimes seemed that I was destined for a life in the loser lane, but I always suspected that I was destined for and that I was capable of something bigger. When you believe in yourself, other people will believe in you too. That hit home with me. I don't know if you've ever felt like, geez, you feel scared, like, oh, maybe I'm gonna end up flipping burgers, or I'm not gonna amount to anything in life, but you feel inside that you just can do so much more. That just instantly hooked me. Chapter 2, How I Became a Girl Boss. I did a MySpace bulletin and blog post for every single auction that went up on Nasty Gal Vintage. 2 keys to running a successful business: knowing your customer and knowing how to get free marketing. I responded to every single comment, treated my customers like they were my friends. So if you haven't read the book and you're just watching to get the cliff notes, she started out with an eBay store, and before that she'd had all these life experiences, but when she talks about her business, she started with an eBay store and then built it to her own store, her own website, and now she's a huge $100 million company. When I wrote product descriptions, I exalted the details. I included all of the details. It was a mix of search terms and actual descriptions. So she really went the extra mile, and there's these little key hints along the book that tell you how she got successful, and I think one of them was just going the extra mile in every task that she did. What made me successful wasn't necessarily what I sold, but how I sold it. I focused on making my store as unique as possible. One thing you should know about me is when I hear no, I rarely listen. It takes a special kind of stubbornness to succeed as an entrepreneur, and you don't get what you don't ask for. I've actually thought that was really interesting because I've always heard about this audio CD that my husband listens to about something about the art of asking, and you'll never know if you can have something if you don't ask. So you might as well ask, even if you think it's a long shot. Just ask. It's the worst that could happen. Talking to girls who bought from me was important and always had been. If a style really worked well, we took note and tried to replicate that success. If a style was bad, it was dead to us. Chapter 3, Shitty Jobs Saved My Life. I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I think I've ended up where I needed to be. A very important tidbit about customer service: just apologize to people. Even if it's not your fault, you've been disappointed by the company you work for, and it's your job to empathize with them. At this point in my litany of shitty jobs, I'd never reaped what I'd sown, and what I eventually learned is the only way I can stay engaged. So working for someone else wasn't her thing. She had to be doing her own thing. If you're bored and hating it, it's a big sign that you're most likely just in the wrong place. I can relate to that. I have been in a situation where I hated it day in and day out, and it just drove me crazy, but I didn't want to stop because I didn't want to feel like a quitter. But more importantly is when you embrace that and you just go for what you want, it may hurt at first, but then you come into your own and you really feel more accomplished and you feel better than ever, like you've made the right decision. So if you feel that, I would definitely think about what's going on in your life and what changes you can make. When you approach everything as if it is a big fun experience, then it's not that big of a deal if things don't work out. There are secret opportunities hidden inside every failure. So I love that. Just have fun. It's an experiment. If you want to try something new, just try it. True success lies in knowing your weakness and playing to your strengths. Chapter 4. Shoplifting and hitchhiking saved my life. In my teens, I saw the world in only black and white. Now I know that most things exist in a certain gray area. Figure out what you love doing and don't suck at. Then try to figure out how to make a living doing that. Chapter 5. Money looks better in the bank than on your feet. And there went my little bow that I taped to my headband to make it more interesting. Anyways, girl boss. When your time spent making money is significantly greater than your time spent spending money, you'll be amazed at how much you can save without really thinking about it. Selling things for more than you pay for them and save more than you spend, that is a philosophy that ultimately led to a really big business. Just great advice, even if you're not in a business, just being smart with your money. Chapter 6, Hocus Pocus, the power of magical thinking. We control our thoughts and our thoughts control our lives. Focus on visualizing what you want instead of getting distracted by what you don't want, and send the universe your good intentions so that it can send them right back. Each time you show up to work and work hard and do your best at everything you can do, you're planting seeds for a life that you can only hope will grow beyond your wildest dreams. Take care of the little things, even the little things that you hate. You treat them as promised to your own future. Soon you'll see that fortune favors the bold who get shit done. I just love how she just doesn't care about cursing or speaking her mind candidly. Those who don't believe in magic will never find it. We choose what and how we believe, and our beliefs are tools that we then use to make things happen, or not. A big practice in chaos magic is the use of sigils, which are abstract words or symbols you create and embed with your wishes. To create a sigil, start by writing out your desire in a single word, a couple of words, or a short sentence. Then remove all the duplicate letters, then all the vowels. Basically, you can do whatever you want here until you're left with a bunch of lines and you can combine into one symbol. Then you put the piece of paper in a book, in your wallet, or some other place where it won't get lost, and just forget about it. I love that. So when you see it, it just reminds you of everything that you wanted. Embed these wishes into your subconscious, and then your subconscious makes it happen, even when the conscious part of your brain is busy doing something else. Internet passwords can be used for modern day sigils. So I think that's really great because your subconscious mind works all the time, even when you're not consciously thinking of it. So I did that, and just thinking about it makes me smile. Don't get so focused on one particular opportunity that you're blind to other ones that come up. If you approach everything in life with a certain degree of intention, you can affect the outcome. I have also had to learn to rein in my negative thoughts. I don't want to spend time thinking about things that I don't want to have a place in my life. Focus on the positive things in your life, and you will be shocked at how many more positive things start to happen. So we have heard over and over and over again about the negative thoughts and getting them out of our head. One thing that I practice, which I just did this morning, if I have a negative thought that's just lingering in my brain, I write it down and I rip it up, and that's the end of it. Chapter 7, I am the anti-fashion. Extroverts get their energy from being around a lot of people, but introverts find large groups draining and require time alone to recharge. As a result, I spent way too much time thinking about what other people thought about me and what I could possibly do to make them like me more. There's zero correlation between being the best talker and having the best ideas. So here she really goes into how she was an introvert, and I think she's really trying to empower someone who feels like they're an introvert and might not be capable of achieving what they think they can. And she's saying it doesn't matter if you're an extrovert or an introvert, we all have the capability within us. and not to be afraid. I wasn't great at in-person customer service because I can't fake a smile to save my life, but it turned out that I was really good at it electronically. A lot of the world's great artists, thinkers, and even business people are and were introverts. Albert Einstein, Bill Gates, J.K. Rowling. Those are just a few that she names, and I think it's really empowering to read those for someone that's an introvert, because you see, well, hey, they can be successful, so can I. Life isn't about finding yourself, life is about creating yourself. I never assumed that I'd just done my job, my best job, the first time around. When your goal is to gain experience, perspective, and knowledge, failure is no longer a possibility. Failure is your invention. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. No matter where you are in life, you'll save a lot of time by not worrying too much about what other people think about you. The most important thing to do is to take risks. The risks are where breakthroughs happen and big shifts take you to new places and create opportunities. Chapter 8, on hiring, staying employed, and firing. It had long since come to my attention that people of accomplishment rarely sat back and let things happen to them. They went out and happened to things. So in this chapter, she just goes over the do's and don'ts of writing a resume, the do's and don'ts of a cover letter, how to excel at your job, just little tidbits of tips. I'm only going to cover one thing from this chapter, and that is one of the smartest investments a business can make is in hiring great writers. And I think that whether you're a business owner or not, invest in your writing skills, because we all need it. And whether or not you think you're going to be writing, you are. Whether it's writing a colleague or a friend or a family member. Chapter 9, taking care of your business. It's becoming clear that people who reject the worst of the current system are actually more likely to succeed. Entrepreneurial people are passionate about what they do, comfortable taking risks, and quick at moving on from failures. People want to invest in businesses that don't need money. Venture capitalists want to invest in businesses that also aren't for sale. I don't see things the way a trained eye would. In fact, I question everything. How can I make this better? How could we be operating at maximum efficiency? You won't get anywhere just talking about yourself. Listen. It's one of the greatest gifts you could give yourself. I really like that where it says listen and people don't like to hear you talk about themselves, because I can always tell when I talk to someone that instantly their conversational skills, when all they do is talk about themselves, you ask them questions, they don't ask any questions back, and they're just so into themselves, and a conversation gets boring when it's one-sided and you're just hearing them talk and talk and talk and you're just listening. And it's, in my opinion, it works better when there's more of a balance. So here I can see where she says, you know, listen is your greatest tool, because listening, people love to talk about themselves. So if you want to get someone talking or start a conversation with someone, ask questions, because no one will think twice when it comes to talking about themselves. Chapter 10, creativity in everything. In this chapter, she talks about how she went to a photography school and she made this portfolio and of all of these different photos and completed it, and the line I underlined says, it was one of the first times that I had ever finished something that I set out to do. It taught me that when I do things I want to do, when I do things because I want to do them, and not because I have to, I can accomplish a lot. I almost just broke down in tears, because there have been so many times where I didn't follow through on a project or I didn't finish it, and it always just kills me because I just feel like, geez, I have no follow through. Why aren't I getting better? And I just really like to hear that someone else walks on the same path that I do, because it seems like everyone around me is nothing like me. So it was nice to hear something from someone that I felt like was me speaking. If you're dreaming big, girl boss, don't be discouraged. If you have to start small, it worked for me. You should get dressed for your life. I don't care if the only place you have to go is the post office. Get dressed, girl boss, and let your freak flag fly. That is so true. There are times when you just wake up and want to lay around in PJs. That's fine, you know, every once in a while. But I feel that getting up and doing your hair and your makeup and getting dressed just makes you feel better. And you just know, like, if you're planning to stay home and something comes up, you're ready to go. You don't have to think, oh, I have to go and do my hair, my makeup, like, it's already done. Chapter 11, the chances. Regardless of what your dreams are, if you listen only to those around you, the chances of your dream coming true are very small. You can't have it all, and nothing comes easy. You will make sacrifices and compromises, get let down and let other people down, fail and start over, break some hearts, take some names, and learn to pick up and continue when your own heart gets broken. Out of the bajillions of things in this universe that you can't control, what you can control is how hard you try. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Never let go of your appetite to go after new ideas, new experiences, and new adventures. Compete with yourself, not with others. Judge yourself on what your personal best, and you'll accomplish more than you ever could have imagined. The real challenge lies in perfecting the art of knowing which rules to accept and which to rewrite. An advantage of being naive is being able to believe in oneself when no one else will. They take leaps before seeing the bridge because they know that if they don't, someone else will get that holy grail. Here's your chance for you. There's a chance for you, girl boss, so take it. And those were so inspirational. If you're the type of person where everyone around you just, you know, hates on your ideas or thinks the way you went through life was terrible, who cares? There's not a single way to success. She had not hundreds, but she had a lot of 1 week, 2 week, 3 month, 4 month jobs leading up to when she really found her true career. She didn't just find a job and stick with it like everyone says you should. So I just challenge you to think for yourself and not even challenge you. I challenge us to just be better and go for what we want. I mean, just bringing this book back and rereading everything I highlighted, just it makes me feel empowered even more. And I hope that for those of you that read this feel the same way. Like always, you can find all of the book club details on my website, wellreadsoiree.com. And I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow to announce our next read. And also, I'm so interested to know what your thoughts are on this book. I don't think I'm more interested in any other book so far but this one. So please let me know how you felt about this book in the comments or a video response or email me, whatever. I want to know. Thanks, guys.